In the build-up to the 2023 ODI World Cup that will happen in October and November, one of the major tournaments that will be played is the Asia Cup. The Asia Cup is slated to be held around September, August-September period. But now there is a real big danger that the Asia Cup 2023 will be in jeopardy. What is the reason? The initial reason that was there from the very beginning: India versus Pakistan, bilateral tensions and security issues. Now, there are reports coming in that the BCCI and the PCB standoff has intensified, and that is the reason why the Asia Cup 2023 might not even happen. And the ripple effect of that situation, perhaps 2 years down the line, the ICC Champions Trophy of 2025 might not happen as well in Pakistan, because certain developments have been reported which have put the Asia Cup in jeopardy. And remember, this is a vital tournament. This is the last preparation gap that you have prior to the World Cup. If that doesn't happen, the BCCI and the PCB will have to scramble for alternate options. Now, what is the current situation that has put the Asia Cup in jeopardy? BCCI has reportedly rejected the hybrid model in the Asia Cup, the hybrid hosting model. Now, what was the hybrid hosting model that the PCB had suggested? Let me give you a bit of a backdrop in that. We all know that because of the 2008 terror attacks that happened in Mumbai, the India versus Pakistan bilateral situation and security issues remains at an all-time low. It did not get any better even after the Uri terror attacks as well. So, in the midst of this, the Indian government and the BCCI have made it very, very clear that they will not travel to Pakistan. And it is very evident now from the chain of command that only if the government gives permission, then and only then the BCCI will make a tour to Pakistan. But at this point in time, the Indian government is in no mood of giving the permissions. So, the Asia Cup could not be played in Pakistan. There was two other alternatives presented: neutral venues and hybrid hosting. The neutral venue says that the Asia Cup be played either in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh or the UAE, number one. Number two, the hybrid hosting model had suggested that Pakistan and the rest of the nations play their games in Pakistan and India plays their games in a neutral venue. That is the hybrid hosting model. But the BCCI now has reportedly rejected the PCB offer. And that is the reason why the Asia Cup is in jeopardy. India would play matches at neutral venues while other teams would play in Pakistan. So Pakistan, Sri Lanka would happen in Pakistan. Pakistan, Bangladesh in Pakistan. India, Bangladesh will happen in a neutral venue. India, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, all in neutral venues. But now that has been rejected totally. The reason is that the PCB are very firm on the hybrid model. They want to do that because the PCB has rejected the neutral venues theory. They do not want that, and that is the reason why Asia Cup, the reports suggest that the Asia Cup will not happen if the PCB is firm on the hybrid model. Second, if you look at it, the PCB, why has it rejected hosting it in a neutral event? Because costs, logistics. In the past, from 2009 onwards till 2015-16, the PCB had always argued that hosting the games in the UAE and at neutral venues, it just was not feasible when it came to logistics and finance. Now, that is the reason why PCB has rejected holding events in different venues. If the Asia Cup is not held at this point in time, then India is preparing for a 5-team tournament in September. Now, what will be the 5-team tournament now? That is a very important situation. The current standoff also stems from the fact that hybrid model, during the meeting, you remember that there were meetings between the BCCI and the PCB in the UAE some time ago, about a couple of months back. But unfortunately, in that, there was a standoff. No firm conclusion came in that. And that is the reason why initially the BCCI thought that maybe we can consider it, but now there is opposition to it. So the timeline was such that, okay, India made it very clear that they will not travel to Pakistan due to security issues and political tensions. That is number one. Because of the political tensions, the BCCI suggested that let the Asia Cup be hosted in a neutral venue. Pakistan rejected that. Najam Sethi, the head of the PCB, has made it very, very clear that no neutral venues. That is the major objection that they have. Hybrid model was initially considered, but now not in favor. Suddenly now things have changed. The BCCI are not in favor of the hybrid model. If the PCB are firm and the BCCI is not too keen on the hybrid model, then this standoff will once again mean that the Asia Cup may be in jeopardy. Initially, Najam Sethi, the PCB head, was going to the UAE for some meetings, but now he has pulled out due to personal reasons. Now, with just about 4 months to go, May, June, July, August, September is the period wherein you will be playing the Asia Cup. What happens to it? So now, the 5-team tournament in September. This is the only alternative that is left, which will put India in an advantage. But Pakistan now will be scrambling what to do if the Asia Cup is abandoned. If it is scrapped, then it is a major blow for their preparations as well. So the timeline of the Asia Cup crisis is such now that because of the bilateral tensions that exist, it's a very tricky situation. What were the ICC thinking when they were giving the hosting rights to the Champions Trophy to Pakistan, knowing fully well that India might not be able to travel due to the severe bilateral tensions that exist between both the nations? If the Asia Cup is scrapped and the 5-nation tournament comes in September, it is advantage India nevertheless. But Pakistan will be at the wrong end of the stick, unfortunately. It is now very obvious Pakistan are adamant, they have dug in their heels that they do not want to play neutral venues. Is it the right approach? India, if they withdraw from the Asia Cup, there is no Asia Cup in essence, because the sport's main economic powerhouse has pulled out of the tournament. So this is a very tricky situation that Pakistan and India are facing themselves in. Complicated even further by the World Cup, which will be just about a month after the Asia Cup. So this is why this current situation is not ideal for cricket. It is not ideal either for India or for Pakistan. India can arrange, because they have shown in the past that they can arrange tours, they can make tournaments happen just overnight. For the PCB, it might not be that easy. It is a very, very delicate situation, and one hopes that there is a solution to it, because you would want to see India versus Pakistan, you would want to see the Asia Cup happen, but the existing political tensions might not allow that. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Thank you.